what inspired you to get into acting?
What matters is the story and how you craft it.
You answered a lot of the questions already with that one answer, so that's fine.
Embrace the process, because this idea of, oh, I'm going to get somewhere and everything is going to change is an illusion. The truth is, it's the process that's the gift. And so I'd say just enjoy that. If you love acting, just stick with it. Do it.
Just doesn't feel like Beltane without a big bonfire.
Out of the question.
Happy Beltane, motherfuckers!
I'm a witch. A real witch.
What are they doing? I think they're making a statement. I am with child.
Tonight we drink to Rowena. Did you bring your beer bomb? The man you see before you led a very different kind of life.
Coven is built on a foundation of lies.
I'm leaving this place. My fate rests in your hands.
I'm gonna have to ask you to give me my sword back.
There's the broad.
If you expect me to believe that Juliette Binoche has poo in her butt, you're out of your goddamn mind.
Please subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on your favourite podcasting platform. Thank you.
Hi there, welcome to Film Forums. My name is Aiysha Jebali and I have with me a wonderful guest today. Could you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Angela Sarafyan. I grew up in Los Angeles. I moved here when I was 4 years old from Armenia, and I've been living here since. So I know this city in a very interesting way because it doesn't come with the industry. It comes with really kind of authentically knowing the neighborhoods and the people that live in them and the character of the city itself. But I grew up in the arts. I grew up playing piano and dancing ballet and singing in a chorus and going to see operas and things. My mom always wanted me to have this ability to see everything, including all kinds of sports, everything that could possibly inspire a direction to what I want to be in life or what I want to do. So eventually, all of these arts led me to acting. And I made that decision kind of on my own after I graduated high school that this is what I want to do. And I didn't take a traditional route, which was to go to college and get a degree, because I noticed that people that are in this industry don't necessarily need to take those same routes that others do. You don't have to be with a bachelor's degree or a master's degree in your art to be able to do it. So I found myself at 18 sitting in a room full of people who were USC graduates in masters in acting and which I think is a wonderful thing to be informed, but they were starting where I was starting at 18. And I thought, well, if I could find all the people that teach acting who I admire, all the different, like study all the history, where it came from with Stanislavski to Stella Adler to Lee Strasberg to Patsy Rodenberg, Shakespeare and Linkletter and all the things you can do and study that on my own, then maybe I can also work.
No, I totally agree with you. There's so many actors that come up in a similar way. And I think that the important thing is to have good teaching. It's not necessarily to have a qualification in the same way as other industries like you mentioned. So that's really wonderful. Did you seek out acting coaches or did you go more for Amdram acting classes?
I joined group classes. I needed tools. I think that sometimes coaching could be very much a director's thing where the coach can tell you do this or that. And I needed initially the ability to have some tools that I could reach out to be able to decide what I want to create. So the coach was a much later thing. I did try several. Actually, one of my earliest acting coaches is a very talented man named Taylor Sheridan. I worked with just more than a handful of times. And he's a very wonderful writer, director. did that movie, oh my God, Hell or High Water. Did you see that? So he wrote that film, and he's written so many others. Sicario, Those Who Wish Me Dead, which is his most recent film. He did Yellowstone. That's, I think, his show, TV show on AMC. But anyway, he's but I learned a lot from the simple ways that he was really directing me. He was such a very kind person to work with, because he would see the way that I act, an awareness that I hadn't yet developed. So really, I studied with one teacher whom I loved, this teacher named Tony Greco, and I've been studying with over the years, because I think, like ballet, acting requires you to practice daily.
Mm-hmm. So. Certainly, yeah. I'm also from like a dance and acting background. Yeah, I did do performing arts college, but I majored in dance, and then I, funnily enough, ended up in acting more so later on. But yeah, I think the arts often cross over. You know, you often have more than one passion, I think, which is really beautiful.
What kind of dance? What kind of dance did you do?
Well, at college we had to do like everything, you know, but growing up, to be honest, I didn't train in dancing really, apart from contemporary. Kind of later on, I got kind of like discovered by a dance company that came round, but other than that, I like taught myself from music videos and stuff. Cool. Yeah, and then this company came round, you know, our school, and plucked me out, and then from then on I kind of went on the dance route for a while, and then ended up in acting more so later. But yeah, so I did get good training, but I got it quite a bit later in life than most dancers. Like most of the people I was dancing with, they started training at like 3, you know, and I didn't have that.
I didn't either. I started really dancing when I was 9, and I was so late in the game, and the reason for that was because my mom thought I was like a tree. I used to just kind of sit and watch TV or play the piano or read something. And she said, you need to move. And so I started dancing late. You know, that's pretty late for dancers. You know, they start.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. I mean, I was a bit older even than that. I was like 14. But I don't even understand why they picked me, because I was straight up doing hip hop and stuff. And then it was a contemporary dance company. I was like, sure, if you want me.
I mean, yeah, that's so cool.
But
I think like talent, you know, sometimes we're not exposed to arts that could help us build our talents. But if you have the talent and the passion, you know, you find your way like you did. That's kind of cool, you know, watching videos. And
what I was going to ask as well, you know, when we're talking about passion and things like that, you know, as you've gone through your career, and I'm sure everyone, no matter how talented, deals with rejection. How did you manage to stay motivated and passionate to keep going?
It's hard. It's not. It has been hard at moments, naturally, because you go out and you want to, depending, sometimes you don't, but you want to get the role that you're going out for. And I love what I do. I love what I do so much that even the opportunity to get to act in front of a casting director, or to get to put yourself on tape, that's what we do now, is an opportunity to get to act. So so I audition all the time. I audition now. I've been auditioning the last 20 years of my life. And I go, that's just a part of what it is. You have to accept that that's the way it goes. But you also, in the process of my journey in acting, I've had to grow up, and you learn all of the good things and the bad things about yourself, the habits, the negative thoughts, the cycles of just destruction that could come with it. And that acting really is kind of an interesting industry, because it challenges you to need, like, to expand as a person. And if you don't, you can get sucked into this kind of a place of complete depression. So you have to go through it and get out to the other side. And there is no other side, really. It's a process of personal growth. And as you do that, you realize there's so much to be grateful for, so much to appreciate. Like casting directors, they are looking for the actor to give the job to. They have the job they want to give. So you just have to come to the table with the goods.
Yeah, no, that's lovely advice. And I think it's really nice, the way that you said, it's an opportunity. Every audition is an opportunity to do what you love. And that could be, just the audition that's doing what you love, or it could lead to you doing more of what you love in that role. But either way, you're still acting. And I think that is a really nice attitude to have. It definitely keeps a more positive perspective on what can often feel like, a lot of no's for people. And in terms of you getting in the door as well to see casting directors and things, obviously getting an agent is a big part of that journey. Would you have any advice for actors as to how to land, an agent that has those types of connections?
Well, I don't know how it works now, but what I did was I had back in the day, we had headshots and we had a resume, and you would send that out to a handful of agents. We used to have a bookstore. I don't know if that's so sad. It was a wonderful acting bookstore called Samuel French in Hollywood. And they had a book for agents. And you would go and kind of see the list of agents. And some of them would say they're accepting actors and some wouldn't. And you could just send it out, like send your resume out and see who responds. It starts from that bare minimum. But I think now with social media, I feel like there must be other ways, right? I don't know.
There's a lot of like hashtags now, like demo reel hashtags and things that sometimes agents might be watching, or like in the UK anyway, ours is a little bit different. So we do email submissions. So yeah, you basically just write like a little cover letter and attach your resume over here, and kind of see what happens. It's kind of similar to the older way in America.
Yeah.
But personally, one thing that I found worked was there was a short film that I did and it got a few good reviews. And in those reviews, I'd been mentioned. So I took those quotes and I basically that was my cover letter. And it just kind of shows endorsement from people. So that's another kind of idea if anybody's, thinking of things. There are lots of different ways to do it, I think. That's why I always ask that question, because there's no right way. It's always really cool to hear how you did it and what the options are. Did you manage to find much work on your own, as an individual before getting an agent?
No, I didn't. No, it was all through the agent in the beginning, and then started having relationships, and a friend would ask, can you come do this? And I'd say, sure, let's produce something together. We might do a little thing. So primarily anything that is substantial comes from your agent, in my case.
Yeah. And can you tell us a little bit about, what you've been working on recently, that people might want to be able to see and support?
So King Knight is this wonderful film that I got to do with a lovely human director person. He's just so got such beautiful energy and was able to accomplish something so effortlessly. I think we had such a good time working on this movie. It's kind of related to our conversation about self-awareness and accepting who you are and not letting others determine kind of their judgments stifle you, but rather embracing all of yourself to have that kind of gratefulness. So it's such a sweet, quirky, farcical film, and I love working on it with everybody, with Matthew Gray Gubler, who plays my husband, and that we are a part of a Wiccan. We're witches, so we have a little group. Every actor that was involved was so sweet, delight to work with, including our cinematographer. Just everybody. It was so easy and nice.
That's a good experience to have. And again, with new actors, say for example, they've booked their first big indie feature film or something like that. Are there any kind of industry tips, behind the scene tips that maybe you would have for how actors should conduct themselves or what they can do that would be, helpful to the team?
My teacher would say this, there's no such thing as a distraction, only the potential for inspiration. So everything is a part of it. Meaning, sometimes we think we have to like isolate ourselves and be completely focused and go do this thing. But I think that there is a lot more fluidity to acting. So that would be my advice. Just enjoy it too, because it can get tense, but just find moments of joy in it. I want to make movies and tell stories that will have a good effect on people.
Yeah, uplifting, obviously. Yeah, I think that's really
And
good.
sometimes insightful, sometimes frightening, sometimes I don't know. It could be so many things, but as long as it can offer a different perspective, I guess.
Obviously, getting into such a prestigious festival is amazing. How have you found the experience of attending big festivals like that? I know obviously we've had COVID for the last year and a half, so maybe you haven't had a chance to attend so many, but I'm just curious if you've had any experience with these types of festivals.
So this will be the first film festival since COVID for me, and I haven't attended any since COVID. So it's interesting doing it through Zoom. I've never done that before. Have you? Have you been attending?
I haven't done any festivals via Zoom. I've only attended in person, but pre-COVID. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a very different experience when you're in person. It's really fun, and just you get to meet people and see the reaction of an audience. Like I can't wait to go into a movie theater and really see a film. Actually, I have another film coming out in 2 weeks called Reminiscence. And that'll be the first time I'll go into a movie theater since COVID. So I wanted it to be something special.
Have you shot any films during COVID as well?
Yes. I worked on 2 different films, shot in New Orleans, shot in New Mexico. They're in the process of post right now. So those films will probably come out either at the end of this year or next year. We'll see. It was interesting. They're very careful. You get tested almost daily for COVID.
And just one last, if you had a words of wisdom for an actor, no matter where they are in their journey, what would it be?
Embrace the process, I would say. Embrace the process, because this idea of, oh, I'm going to get somewhere and everything is going to change is an illusion. The truth is, it's the process that's the gift. And so I'd say just enjoy that. If you love acting, just stick with it. Do it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. Honestly, it's been a pleasure to have you.
Nice to meet you.
Please subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on your favourite podcasting platform. Thank you.